I just went and watched. Shoot, I already forgot the name of the movie. So I saw Keeper today on a whim. I literally had no plans to see a movie or this movie or any movie, horror or otherwise. In fact, I was actually thinking about going to see Black Phone 2, but I didn't enjoy Black Phone, so I don't know why I would go and see Black Phone 2. But then again, as a horror movie enjoyer, that could be said about literally every single horror movie. I don't enjoy horror movies. I keep going to see them, expecting them to be good, but they're never, ever, 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 ever good. But Keeper, I honestly thought this was just gonna be a way to like waste $30 and like kill time because that's all I really planned to do. I just wanted to kill time. So I picked up a movie to watch, and honestly, I actually thought Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was out. I saw it on the website, so I'm like, oh, I'll go see that. But then I got there and I'm like, oh, it's not until December. So okay, I gotta watch something else now. So I watched Keeper, and I am not actually online very much lately. So I don't know if there's been a lot of buzz about this movie. I'm basically completely out of touch with the horror movie scene right now. I know The Conjuring that also came out, and I don't know if that's good or not. I literally don't know anything about it. I just know it is out. Same with, again, Black Phone 2. I just know it is out. So whether they're good or not, whether there have been good horror movies this year, I don't know. I hope there have been, but I'm just so out of touch. I have no idea. So I don't know if this movie is getting a lot of attention or not, but I'm surprised by how empty the theater was. I don't actually even know when it came out. I watched this tonight at November 16th. So I watched it on November 16th. I don't actually know when it came out, so maybe, and it's a Sunday night too, so I don't expect the theaters to be packed like on a Sunday night. I don't, it's not the opening weekend, is it? It was so empty. I was like literally the third person in there, and then two other people walked in like 10 minutes later. So it's like, I think there was a total of 5 people watching that movie, this whole thing. Obviously horror movies aren't very popular, so not a lot of people are gonna go and see it, but even so, this crowd was like tiny. I will say at the beginning, I was like, oh no, they're so tiny. They're gonna hear every single sound I make when I crunch on my nachos. So I thought I was gonna be the most obnoxious moviegoer, but I think I was tied with most obnoxious moviegoer. So there's that at least. That's the thing that always makes me like a bit sad about like smaller crowds. But at the same time, if the crowd is small and they actually understand to shut up during tense moments, or like they are like captured by the movie and like appropriately don't chew when something is very, very atmospherically quiet, then like it's a good thing. And I think the whole crowd, the 5 of us, really understood when to not like eat our food. So it was great. Because the movie did have a lot of moments that were tense. Initially, when this movie started, I was bored out of my mind. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna do a girl gets murdered in the cabin movie. Like I've seen like I'm not into these. I find them boring. I'm so tired of like women getting kidnapped or lured out into dangerous places by themselves because they feel like they trust someone and that person just betrayed. I'm just like, it's not because I hate it as a concept. It's just every time I see it done, it's never done in an interesting or meaningful way. It's never done in a useful way. It's always just like girl gets there, either dies or has a girl boss moment and like kills the villain or something. And I'm like, I guess, all right, that's fine, but like, anyways, horror movies are not like really there for engaging character arcs or engaging characters to begin with. So like, you know what, I'm asking too much here. So even though the original, like the intro had me bored to tears with the setup of going into like the woods with this guy that she'd been dating for a year, they're getting kind of serious, she's kind of thinking about maybe settling down, but obviously she has like some kind of attachment issues, trust issues or whatnot. I found myself at least engaged by the way that the movie was like framing all of these shots together. I don't know. I found like the way that she was like examining things, looking at things, thinking about things. I found it very interesting how they were like framing the way she was like looking at this world and the person she was with. So I don't know. I'm like, wow, they're using a lot of like fancy shots to cover up the fact that the story is gonna be boring as shit. Like I was like, you know what? At least I'll take it. If it looks interesting, if it's kind of atmospheric, I can vibe with that. If anything, horror movies are probably best served to me as long as I can feel the tension there at some point in time. I will take it. I will call it a pass. And this movie, especially towards the end, had so many parts that were extremely tense. The moments where the tension is very, very, very tightly held, they don't like cheapen it by like random screaming or random shouting or just random jarring moments. I was super, super impressed by this movie, and rather than talking about like the individual story beats or the scares or anything like that, I just want to talk about the vibes I got from it once I finished it. The final scene as well. Well, at the beginning, I really didn't understand what was happening. There was a lot of imagery. I was like, what is going on? Where is this going to go? It's probably not going to go anywhere because it's a horror movie, and horror movies never actually do anything useful by revealing the big bad or the big creature or like the devil or the demon. Like, if anything, horror movies kind of should stop doing that. Like, they should stop revealing the scary thing. Just let it be scary, right? Like, keep it vague, keep it mysterious. Like, the horror isn't not knowing. So when all of these like spooky things or strange things or scary things or ominous things were happening, I was like, is it a person? Is it something else? Like, what's going on? And at the end, when it kind of actually comes together, I was shocked because I don't really expect any setup that's done to really come together in a useful way towards the end. Like, usually it's a bunch of bullshit at the beginning that's not related to what's gonna happen at the final part. Usually just like a bunch of stuff to set up the atmosphere, the vibes, or the characters, or like the ominous thing that's about to like fucking kill them. That's usually what like the first act is. But in this instant, in the first half of the movie, they have a lot of imagery that actually has a useful like meaning towards the end and then the final resolution. So when it actually all came together, I was shocked. I didn't expect it. And on top of that, like all the imagery that I was seeing towards the beginning, all of the things that I was keeping note, like making a note of mentally, like the false illusion of freedom that this cabin is giving, all of that stuff actually comes together in like I feel like a very meaningful way towards the end. And that's not really usually what happens. When I think about horror movies like this, which is like a bunch of symbolism shit that doesn't make sense, I'm just like, it's trash. But then after I finished that movie, it actually made me think of movies that are known to be more artsy. Like I feel like after Hereditary especially, there's this art era of horror movies that came out. Things like Midsummer, The Witch, Get Out. These movies are really good at exploring a character's mind state. And after I actually finished watching The Keeper, I was like, oh, it's kind of like one of those movies. Like, I don't get it. I don't really understand it. In this instance, it makes a lot of sense to not understand it towards the beginning because it actually, again, it comes together at the end. That's not something that usually happens. Or maybe it's because I'm too dumb. Like, I'm real. When it comes to, like, again, those same artsy type horror movies, I think, like, sometimes the imagery is actually way too esoteric for me to understand. The vibes are there, but they are not clicking to me because I have a very difficult time, like, understanding what the association of all these things going on. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I guess this person is supposed to be like this animal for some reason. It is very creepy. Like, again, with deers and stuff, like, I kind of get it because it's, like, historically in horror movies, a deer is, like, just a sign of prey and all that. But there's some other stuff in horror movies that I don't understand. And, like, I don't know if I'm just not, I don't have the necessary context or what. But, again, in The Keeper, it doesn't feel like I'm actually missing anything. And that's kind of what makes this one so interesting to me. Like, it gives me that kind of artsy horror movie vibes. But it doesn't feel, like, oppressively esoteric. Again, I want to use that word again because sometimes those movies are really just like, I need to be in the director's mind space to understand what they're going for here. It's like a Yoko Taro video game or like a Kojima video game. Like, sometimes it's like, wow, that is sick, but what is the point? What is going on? I don't understand it. The vision that's being expressed, the vibes are there, but the actual like mindset or like the thoughts that are leading to expressing it in this way, I cannot comprehend. But again, in The Keeper, it actually translate the ideas to me. And I enjoyed it. I really did. I didn't expect to enjoy it, but it's like one of those rare movies where the second half is actually stronger than the first half. But not because the first half was like bogged down by setting up all the stuff. It's a very unique case where, in my opinion, the first half doesn't waste time setting stuff up and doesn't like throw out unnecessary details like a lot of movies do to set up a strong second half. In this instance, like the first half is just to the point, meaningful imagery, meaningful moments, meaningful visuals, meaningful scenes, all to build up to the conclusion of the second half. Like nothing feels like a loose plot thread, nothing feels like wasted time. It's just, maybe it's just very strange for me to say this, but it feels like a very whole and complete story, and I don't get that from horror movies a lot. So, yeah, I like Keeper. I don't know if anybody else liked Keeper, but yeah, I'm just going off my first impressions. It was very like Midsummer, The Witch, Hereditary. I enjoyed it. I'm hoping people enjoy it too. I'm not saying like make more movies like this. Like all the artsy horror movies need to be like extremely excessive. Oh no, excessive is not the right. Extremely inclusive, like accessible. They don't need to be accessible. I just think this movie was extremely accessible in a way that's very often something I don't get from movies. Like I need to really sit down and think on movies sometimes to understand what was happening here. But in this instance, I could watch the movie and like I didn't really have to do the literary analysis after the fact. I could just be like, whoa, the payoff happened, and then was just like validating. Like I'm sure there's more to actually analyze at some point after, like on a rethink or rewatch or something like that. But I just like sometimes that we get like a whole movie. It's great. It's great. I loved it. I love The Keeper. I think it's great. I think people should go see it. I hope it does well. I hope we get more movies like that. So yeah,